Crete comes into this one with a record of 1-1 on the season. Beatrice 2-0. Beatrice out in the beautiful orange and black uniforms. 47-20 would be the final. We're going to show you how we got to that point. Crete in off an 85-33 loss to Bennington. Beatrice 2-0, most recently off a 48-20 win over Ashton Greenwood. Callie Schwiezo, 10 seconds into the game off the first pass, no hesitation, finds the first 2 of her 17 points tonight. Tatum Templemeyer would knock down a 3. There weren't many in the game, but she would knock down 1 of Beatrice's 4. Tatum Templemeyer would end her night with 7 points. Answering, the freshman Azaline Beck knocks down a triple. That was the first make from deep in the freshman's career. She would have a nice game. She'll be in here a little bit more as well. Off the inbound, Eggy steps in front of the pass, puts it up and in. That was right after the made triple by Beck, and you look at the timestamp there, took over 6 minutes for the Cardinals to enter the scorebook. Tatum Templemeyer makes up for the mistake on the inbound at the right block. Great find up top. Templemeyer wide open down low. A softball connection there, no doubt. Top of the key. Schwiezo back to Kylie Hackliff. You could call it Tominaga range. You could say it was Caitlin Clark. It was a deep, deep 3 to beat the buzzer at the end of the first quarter. At the end of one, it was Beatrice 17, the Cardinals 8. Move on to the second quarter now. Beatrice would continue to build on their lead. Camry Drager, though, finds her first 2 points of the night. Nifty move in the lane. Nice little Euro step for 2. She ended her night with 4 points. Callie Schwiezo would drive, draw some contact. That would be the first of a nice little run to the block there. And again, had that same play pretty often. And here you see it again. Drives in, same situation, opposite side of the paint, draws contact, will go to the line and make the free throw. Just a play later. Gets blocked, though. Camry Drager not fooled on the third attempt there by Schwiezo, and she would turn that into offense on the other end. Splits 2 defenders, finds her second make of that first half. Moving on to the third quarter. For the second week in a row, Beatrice would pitch a shutout in the third quarter. Kylie Hackliff with the first bucket of the second half there. Another deep triple. And then Miley Loomis, the freshman, not afraid of the trees down low, finds 2 points. Her third made field goal of the season. And Callie Schwiezo doing it again in the paint with an and one. Tatum Templemeyer drives in, right-hand layup off the glass and in. Beatrice would outscore Crete 14-6 in the second half. Sophie Gleason would find the scorebook as well. Rattles home an opposite side 3, and Beatrice wins it 47-20.
Courtside now back in Crete, Nebraska, where the Lady O of Beatrice take care of business. Joined now by winning head coach Jalen Weeks. Coach Weeks, you guys really made a statement here tonight defensively.
Yeah, I think we did a really good job, just kind of a grinder game. It's kind of 2 in a row for us where I thought our defense was really did a good job, and all girls were communicating, and a lot of fun when you can play that way.
A lot of coaches talk about winning that first couple minutes or the first 4 minutes coming out of the halftime break. You guys said heck with that. You kept them scoreless that entire third quarter. How are you able to do that?
It goes back to the kids, how much they want to grind at practice and their whole mentality of just trying to go out, compete, and making it tough for everybody. So really proud of them for doing that.
You guys have a senior-heavy team, couple of juniors in there that contribute quite a bit. What has that done early on for you guys?
It's just been great this year. I think it starts with our seniors, just how great of teammates they are and how willing they are to be coached. And it's been really good here to start just our team chemistry and really proud of them.
Speaking of one of those seniors, our tonight's player of the game, what can you tell about Callie Schwiezo? 17 points, and she's just getting after it all night.
She's got a motor like nobody else. She grinds both sides of the ball, and really proud of her effort.
Coach, thank you for your time. Congratulations.
Thanks a lot.
Callie Schwiezo, it's got to mean a little bit more to you, senior, going on the road, knocking down a rival like this.
Yes. I love playing here. This gym's so loud. I love the atmosphere here, and it's awesome to call it the win,
Yeah. Now, you guys, you've been a part of some really good softball teams over the years, too. How have you taken, your quick hands, some of the motor skills you've picked up on the softball field, translate over here on the basketball court?
Well, I'm in the gym, on the field all year round, playing both sports, which, switching gears was, it wasn't too bad, but, yeah. Same competitive spirit against Crete in both sports, so.
Now, mentioned it to Coach there, quite a few seniors, a lot of juniors. You guys are senior-led. What's that been like for you going through this journey and getting off to such a great start your senior year?
Yeah, no, it's been great. We've all stepped into our new roles this season very well. I'm proud of all of us, and third game of the season, but we're coming out strong, and just one game at a time, keep going with it.
Coach talked about your guys' defensive efforts here tonight. You also scored 17 points on the offensive end. What led you to that type of performance?
Our coaches had us so prepared for this game. We figured they'd throw some man defense, some zone 1-3-1 defense, and they got us real prepared for both of them. Yeah.
Callie, congratulations on a big win.
Thank you so much.
Both teams coming in with a record of 1-1 on the year. Let's take a look at how this one went down. We knew it was going to be close. It was indeed. Hello, Mr. Mascot. Beatrice and Crete on NCN. Beatrice 1-1 on the season. Now 1-2. Crete 2-1 now after a win here at home. Beautiful facility here in Saline County. Let's start in the first quarter. Oliver Oglesby, we knew he was going to be an issue tonight. Taking up space down low, the pass out to the corner, and Carter Resney knocks down the three. First made triple of the ball game for either side, and then Resney picks the pocket of Tyson Cerveny, goes back the other way, beats Harrison Vetrovsky to the basket, and lays it up for two. Harrison Vetrovsky would then swing one to the corner. Evan Roberts with a big-time answer there for Beatrice to give the Orangemen a 5-point lead at the end of the first quarter. Kylie Hackliff also hit a late quarter buzzer beater for the Lady Orange in the girls game earlier as well. Tyson Cerveny straight away three, splash with a hand in his face. Beatrice did a phenomenal job tonight knocking down contested looks. How about this range here from Brooks Peening, the junior? You got to respect his range. Knocks one down from at least 30 foot. Then here's Carter Resney, transition three. Crete might have been at their best in the first half when they got out and ran. That's exactly what you saw right there. At the half, Beatrice trailed by 5, but what a start to the second half for the Orangemen. Slamming it home is Harrison Vetrovsky. 27 points tonight, and a little bit of a yell back at a couple of Cardinals. Vetrovsky leaves one short, grabs it off the front iron, stays with the play. That's why you stay with the play. Go back to the play and able to get 2 points. Vetrovsky, he took things over in the third quarter, had 11 points in the frame, knocks down another triple. Beatrice 7 of 21 in the ball game from long range. How about Boston Crawford showing off the range as well? That was his first and only bucket of the ball game, and it came at one of the best times it possibly could have. And then Tyson Cerveny to put Beatrice up a dozen, knocks it down. That was a timeout then for Crete. And then all of a sudden, Stormy back in the ballgame with the Cardinals. Resney gets the layup for the win. Here it is, lays it up over Boston Crawford in transition. Beatrice would have one last chance, and they would not be able to get the look they were hoping for out of the Jackson Weeks timeout. 49-48 the final as the Cardinals improve to 2-1 on the season. Beatrice falls to 1-2.
Welcome back to Crete, Nebraska, where we were treated to a barn burner there. You guys come back down pretty much the entire second half there. What did that take to pull this one off here tonight?
Well, we picked up the defensive intensity, but more than that, just staying with it. They made a run. We got down 12, had to take a timeout, and executed play, which helped. And then like I said, picked up the defensive intensity, started limiting them to one shot. They were better up until that point and getting to the 50-50 balls, extra possessions. They were outworking us. Luckily, we hung around enough that we could make a run in the last 6.
Not only did you amp up the defensive efforts, it looked like you kind of amped up the defensive look there. Did you switch from a zone to a man-to-man? What actually happened there?
Yeah, first half we played all man. We threw a couple of different looks at them. In the second half, and we just weren't active enough in it. So we had to go back to man, and our kids picked it up, thankfully.
Your offense came to life there in the second half of that fourth quarter. What was said during some of those timeouts to kind of kickstart that offense?
Play through Oliver. I mean, we don't get him the ball enough at times. We don't look at him enough, and, I mean, we've got to get him the ball. And he's unselfish. He's a good passer, so we got to play through him.
You kind of made mention of it or alluded to it just a moment ago, but what was Beatrice doing that was really frustrating you guys offensively?
What were they doing offensively? They do a really good job of they set ball screens with pretty much everyone. They give you different combinations, and they look for the right matchup, and then they're really good at getting in the lane, getting to 2 feet, and cutting off of it.
Well, one of the guys that did some pretty good things for you guys tonight, Carter Resney. What can you tell me about his 27-point performance here?
Super competitive. He's trying to will us to win almost to a fault at times, and you know we only return him and Oliver with experience, and we've got to break some other guys in, some guys that haven't contributed like we know they can, and hopefully that comes. But yeah, Carter's just kind of trying to shoulder it right now, and thankfully he did tonight.
Coach, thank you for your time. Congratulations.
Thank you.
27 points, a real big bucket down the stretch. So take me through that play there. You had the turnover, had to do some quick thinking, laying that one in, heavily contested.
We knew we were taking it back to that play. We knew we were down 12 with 3 and some change. So we all right. No, we knew we couldn't back down there, and we were down 12 with 3 and some change, and so we got down to that last layup, and we knew we just got a 10-second call, so their guards were a little bit flustered, and that's what we did. And then my teammate Brooks made a great play, and then I laid it in.
Your head coach Tony Siski made mention of that you guys really churned up the defensive pressure. What were you seeing on the court there that kind of led to that defense getting churned up a notch or two?
Yeah, kind of what I was saying. Before I saw them getting flustered, we got a 10-second call. It's just pretty rare. I didn't know quite what they were thinking there, and so once we got that, we knew we kind of had the motivation and we could pick up full court.
This is a big rivalry game. Beatrice right down the road here, less than a half an hour away. What does this do for you guys early in the season to win this type of fashion, but this type of a game against a team like Beatrice?
Yeah, it's a pretty good feeling to beat those guys, but it didn't need to be that way. But it's always good when it is.
Well, what does it say about your team to be able to stick with it and close it out when it mattered most?
Yeah, it shows a lot. We got a lot of young group of guys that need to step up. So seeing that, and I think we've been getting better in practice. So that's also a great thing. And now we're seeing it on the court when we're down by that much and we don't give up.
Carter, thank you for your time and sticking in there, hanging in there. A tough interview here.
Yeah.